The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline with Nick Eatman.
What's up? It is time for Cowboys Storyline. I am Nick Eatman here, and we're ready to go. It's Friday, November the 10th. Are we on here? Here we go. I think we're on. All right, Friday, November the 10th. This is happy birthday, Shannon Gross. You can hear him on Hanging with the Boys most days. Not this day, because I think he is going to do a little birthday celebrating. But that's good. Shout out to him. I've been on that show the last couple of times. Not going to be on it today, but still, it's going to be a full slate of podcasts for the most part starting today. Little mix-up, though, all over the place. We got different people on the break, different people on, I guess, Hanging with the Boys, but nobody different this one. We're going to have the same guys, same callers, I would imagine. I already see a couple in there, some familiar names and voices, so we'll get to that here. 888-855-2297 is the number. So let's get it started here as the Cowboys and Giants going to square off on Sunday. We all know we're all ready to see the Cowboys back in action again, see what they do against the Giants, see if they can win 40-0 again, or maybe even worse. Maybe they just try to win the game. How about that? All right, let's start it off. Michael in Bowling Green, you're up first.
All right, so yesterday you were talking about wrestling.
Yep.
You mentioned the Great Kabuki. Do you remember the Great Muta?
No.
You don't remember? He was supposedly Kabuki's son. I mean,
no, I didn't see that. I thought you were going to say Fabulous Moolah.
No.
I didn't know that one. Great Kabuki, though. Like go the whole match, and then all of a sudden, just like you just have green fire just comes out in his mouth. That's awesome.
Muta did the same thing.
How about
green? Yeah.
How about the second best Parsons here in Dallas? I know Micah, but then Iceman King Parsons? No?
Yeah, I've heard that, but I'm not really familiar.
No. He had a famous move called the butt.
Huh.
Just throwing it out there. All right, what do you got, man?
All right, so the rest of the season, what do you think is more likely to see? Who do you think is more likely to see run a few plays? The new 6'4" wide receiver Bryant, or Trey Lance, or neither?
Good question. All right. Got anything else? Is that it?
Yeah. Well, Cowboys 38, Giants 10.
Giants 10, 38-10. All right, Michael, good stuff. What's more likely, Martavis Bryant playing or Trey Lance playing? I would think Martavis Bryant, just from the standpoint of you can put 4 receivers in the game at once. And also from the practice squad, they can elevate him just because he's having a good week of practice, because they're relatively healthy. They don't need a lot of other things. He goes out. He plays, it doesn't have to play special teams. So I could see that happening. I could see Martavis Bryant playing. And apparently he's looked pretty good in practice so far. Trey Lance, he could also be the backup in a game. I could see that happening, like maybe later in the season if there's a game that doesn't matter the same. But I would think Martavis Bryant's a better chance of getting out there and doing some things for that, because you don't sign him for the future. He's 31, about to be 32. I mean, you sign him so that maybe he can see what he's got, if he can help you right now. Trey Lance was more for the future, so I would think Martavis on that one. All right, next caller is Joe in Stanford. What's up? Oh, wait a second. Before we get to that, I want to see how fast Chris Beam could run. I didn't realize he was coming in here now. He's back on. Joe, are you there?
I'm here, brother.
What's up, man? I'm making Chris do some sprints today. What's
right
up,
on,
man? Sorry.
Hey, so,
how you doing?
That's okay. So your show, I've been like right on it since you started in the preseason, and the evolution of this thing is Like whenever I first started calling in and everything, it was pretty easy to get on. In fact, I was on a lot.
Yeah, you were. You were the leadoff, you were the leadoff batter.
Yeah, well, your show has gotten a lot more popular, obviously, because it is a lot harder to get on your show, which is cool. I don't have to be on every day. I sure do try to get on every day, though.
Well, I appreciate that. And you know what? I appreciate all you guys for doing that. I mean, I think we're having fun doing it, and I know I am, and it's great. I always love first time callers, because that shows that we're growing a little bit. But I still, I'm also loyal to the ones that have it started off, and also you kind of get to know a little bit what they're thinking. You kind of know what to expect from certain callers. So, but I say that I don't know exactly what you will say in this one. So I don't have you read just yet. What do you got?
Well, I've had a few weird takes, but okay. So a couple of things from earlier in the week since I have been able to get through.
Okay.
Favorite all-time Cowboy, Jason Whitten.
Okay.
He's the man. And my wrestler for you is Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Tough guy.
Yeah, love Hacksaw.
Love Hacksaw Jim Duggan, definitely.
Yeah. So football. So this week, we should be able to handle the Giants. I just want to see progress in certain spots. I need to see the running game. We've all talked about it. I need to see Terrence Steele do better. I don't know whether he needs a pep talk or some technique work or a new knee brace, or I don't know, but I need to see him start playing better. I'd like to see Michael Gallup get the ball a little bit more and be more consistent. And of course, I just like to see, us less penalties and more consistency. So
yeah, all right,
that's it, brother.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
That's
it's awesome that his favorite Cowboy is Jason Whitten, and this wrestler, I don't know about favorite wrestler, but the one he mentioned there was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who would always walk around saying tough guy. Jason Whitten, obviously, 150 games in a row, never missed a game, is about the toughest guy you got. So a little correlation there. Michael Gallup, I agree with that. I thought the catch he made was a third down catch. It was a really tough play. I mean, he had a drop earlier in the game, and everyone's like, all right, get him off the field. His confidence is bad, but he made a couple of other plays in the game, and he also had a big, drew a pass interference penalty that helped him get down there at the end. So, I think from a confidence standpoint, it's fine. He just needs, Brandon Cooks is having a hard time getting the ball. I mean, it's just hard to get everybody the football here. But that's the good thing about Michael Gallup. He's, you'd like to maybe see a little bit more of that dog in him, but he's not one of those diva receivers. And while that doesn't always get you the football, it also prevents issues in the locker room and things like that. And so he's a good teammate to have, but you want him to make more plays. And I think, I'm not giving up on him. I know some people have. I have not. All right, let's go to Travis in San Antonio. Travis, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick. I wanted to say happy Veterans Day to everybody. And as a veteran, thank all the ones that I served with, especially past and present. So I wanted to say that.
100%. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are the real heroes. We're just here talking football. You guys are doing big time work for us.
Well, in honor of that, I want to say, just for today, appreciate that you. I heard that Derek kind of said that this was your kind of brainchild to have this show, and I wanted to say, thanks for having this for the fans and whatnot, and thanks to Chris being the mastermind in the back running it for you.
Yeah, he does. Literally running it today. I had him on the move today. He does all these podcasts, he does them all, but I have to make him work a lot harder for this one, So he missed the day earlier this weekend. We're not doing that anymore, right? We're not missing anymore. But he had two people filling in for him. It's like that's how much work he's doing. So yeah, appreciate that.
Yep.
What you got, Cowboys?
All I want to do is give you kind of a random player. I know you did this kind of earlier in the week.
I love it. We do this every day.
Phil Costa.
Phil Costa.
Yep. And then score prediction for the game, I'm going to say 31-10.
31-10.
And that's it. Just want to have everyone have a great weekend and enjoy the game, and talk to you next week.
Phil Costa, which I thought you were going to say both a player and a wrestler. But with Phil Costa, you don't really have to, because wasn't he dating? I think he was dating, or maybe married to. I think just dating Hulk Hogan's daughter for a little bit. But when Phil Costa showed up and he was an undrafted rookie. And he was one of those players, just like Barry Church. When they walked in, I remember thinking, he's making the team. Like, that guy's making the team. Same with Barry Church, making it. And a lot of it goes down to, like, the position they play and who was there and the chances of them making it. But I just remember that. I remember thinking that, yeah, he's probably gonna make it, and he did. I mean, he made it for a little bit. He started. They obviously had to. They drafted Travis Frederick, but to try to improve the position. But he did a pretty good job for a little bit. All right, Phil Costa. Let's go to Danny in Denison, Texas. Danny, what's up?
Hey, Nick. Man, it was crazy trying to get in. Hey, I've got 3 quick
What do you got?
First thing, today's my wife's birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
So, happy birthday to her. Her and Tony Dorsett have something in common, if you catch my drift, kind of like your mom the other day.
Your wife ran 99 yards for a touchdown?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, something more along the number line, but,
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right. So, my 2 things. One, my favorite all-time Dallas Cowboy, Mr. Jason Whitten.
Okay.
In fact, I named my son after him, Whitten.
That's his first name?
That's his first name.
That's awesome.
Yep. So, and then the other thing is, it's not really about the Cowboy current team, but it's more about y'all's podcast. I absolutely love y'all's podcast. And here's just an idea to throw out there.
All right.
What if at the end of the year, at the Star in Frisco, y'all had like a panel, and it's all the podcast members, and you could have a live event. People come up, they get to ask questions in person, and kind of do like a meet and greet, and then like y'all maybe Ambar auctions off a painting, just cool things like that, because y'all are with the fans. Y'all talk to the fans every day. Y'all represent us. So I think it'd be cool if we had like a way to meet y'all and say hi. And
that's not a bad idea. I'm probably not the person to do that. I mean, I can relay it over to Derek. Derek would probably be the one to kind of get it started. But I think radio stations in town. I know the Fan does it. I know the Ticket has done things like that. I forgot kind of what they're called, but they have events like that where they bring people out and the thing is I'm looking at the calls here. You got one from Kentucky, you got 3 in a row from Texas, San Antonio, Stanford, and Denison, Texas. But a lot of our listeners, our viewers aren't really all from Texas. We're all over the place. But I still think we would we would draw some decent crowd there. It'd be kind of cool to do that. Not a bad idea. I like it.
And last thing, could you mention the Darren Woodson, Jason Whitten story about like training camp or something like that? I think Whitten called Woody out.
Yep.
Do you know?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, it was it was like one of the first practices. It was. All right. Thanks for the call, Danny. Good stuff. Appreciate that. And a good idea. Maybe we can figure something how to do that for the fans and kind of get everybody together, because we're definitely got a lot of podcasts, a lot of personalities. That would be kind of cool to do something like that. The Jason Whitten story was. Let me see if I can recall it. It was during a practice. I think it was during like an OTA or mini camp or something where Whitten, it was his rookie year, and he, a lot of times on one-on-ones, the tight ends and running backs go against the linebackers and safeties, and then receivers and corners. But Darren was going with the corners, and so he would go one-on-one with the wide receivers all the time. Well, Whitten was on the other side of the field, just like tearing up these linebackers, and beating all the. I don't even know who the, Keith O'Neill. I don't remember who the linebackers were back then, but he was whipping them. And then so he starts barking over at Darren, like, "Hey, why don't you come get some of this?" And so Woody's like, "Are you really doing this?" Like, this Jason Whitten, who I'm not even sure was wearing 82 at the time. I think was still at 49. It was like, are you seriously trying to call me out here? 5-time Pro Bowler. And so Woody, of course, what you would do is you're like, I'm not going over there. You come here if you're, So He went over there, and then they made sure and figured it out. And I think Woody locked him up pretty good at first, but they had some good battles, and that's kind of where it started, for that whole season. And I think Whitten from then on did some one-on-one drills with the receivers, and just because he was that kind of player, needed to be pushed at that level. And Woodson will say it. I mean, he needed to be pushed as well. So. Cool story. I think those two guys are, they're, when you ask me who my two favorite guys to cover, 28, 82, those guys right there, those two, because they're the same. The same type of guy. I mean, they just tough as nails. They cared about winning more than anything, more than their own health at times. And they're just great people too. So like both of those guys were really fun to cover. All right, Brian in Kansas City is our next caller. Brian, what's up, Ed?
Hey, good morning, Nick.
Morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Hey, I got a wrestler, a random cowboy, and then I figured the whole thing out for us this morning.
Okay.
I got the brainchild. I know what's holding the Cowboys back.
Nice.
But anyway, let me give you the first. So Andre, when I was a little kid, I'm 56. Andre the Giant was just the wrestler of wrestlers in those days.
Yeah. The great documentary. I saw that on HBO or something on him. It was amazing. Actually, a lot of people have felt sorry for him, just how big he was and just how tough it was to be that big and travel. I mean, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he was a giant for sure.
Yeah, difficult life, I'm sure. I served with a guy who was, I don't know why he joined the Navy, but he was 6'7", and that poor guy was hitting his head everywhere he went. Anyway,
David
my
Robinson?
random cowboy
Was it David Robinson?
Kmart.
Who's your favorite cowboy?
No, random. Kmart. Kelvin Martin.
Yep, Kelvin Martin.
Yep.
Had some big
and then
time.
I got it all
plays.
figured out this
Okay.
morning.
Lay it
I
on me.
live in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I got it all figured out. All we need, Ferg has got to date a pop star.
Got it.
That's it. That's all there is to it, man. Hey, I'm going to hang up.
Okay.
Have a great weekend. Go Cowboys.
Got it. That's it. Yesterday, we signed a sumo wrestler and had stopped the tush push. And today, Jake Ferguson needs to date a pop star. The thing about that is, though, I think that the Chiefs and Travis Kelce were kind of winning before all that. I mean, sort of seemed like they had some success before they became Swifties. But, yeah, it's on a different level. I mean, the NFL is probably loving it, though, just thinking of, like, the fans that now are watching. I mean, Emmitt Smith has said this many times. Danny McCray says it too. Emmitt Smith said when he won Dancing with the Stars, he had a lot more people stop him and say, "You're the guy that won Dancing with the Stars," not the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Dancing with the Stars. I saw it just out here the other day. There was a tour coming by, and this guy was doing like this quadruple take. He was like looking. He was like, "Hey." It was Danny McCray. They're like, "Can I get a photo? You were like top 5 in Survivor in the challenge." They were kind of laughing, like, played it 7 years in the league, but no, Survivor. So it's just a different type of pop culture, fandom, I guess. So which is cool. All right, Dylan in Northport, Florida. Dylan, what's up, man? You're the 6th caller today. What's wrong with you? Usually you're like first. Dude. Are you tired?
I'll tell you what
happened?
At work, if someone scheduled a call, some jerk scheduled a call, man, they should know better. But
work smirk.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. What's up, bud?
Yeah, got first off, happy Veterans Day tomorrow, and thank you for your service, the previous caller there.
Definitely.
And thanks for all those guys and girls. I got a bowl prediction, score prediction, and a trivia for you.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna nail a trivia. I think it's the easy one. I suck at these, but we'll see. Bowl prediction, it's kind of a threefer. I got Micah plus 2.5 sacks. And I got Bland with an interception and Bland with an interception return touchdown. So he ties the record with 4. All right. Score prediction. So something about the score in these games can be weird sometimes. But the games you think you're going to blow a team out, especially when it comes to the Cowboys, I have kind of a theory. teams that are very bad, this is a chance for these players to go out on a national stage with a huge audience, get the media talking about them if they have a good game. And I feel like we get the best from a lot of teams in this kind of scenario. But that being said, it's not going to happen this week. I think maybe down the road against the Seahawks, we may see something like that. Not that they're a bad team at all, but we might see that a little later down the road. But this game, I was going to say 38-10, but Michael stole it, so I'll give him another field goal. We'll say 41-10.
Okay. 41-10.
And then,
all right.
Yes, sir. 41-10. And trivia. So in this kind of the same vein of unproven players, so 2007, which backup quarterback came in mid-game to replace an NFL legend who got injured? The game was a blowout or turning into a blowout at the time, and he came in and made it very competitive in the end. And do you remember the final score?
I know Chris Beam will tell you the backup quarterback that came in there. He knows that. He knows that one who it was. You're talking about the Packers game. So he's busy getting calls. But Aaron Rodgers came into that game.
Yeah.
It was kind of high score.
27-10 when he came in.
I think 38-28. No.
Take a point off of each. 37-27. You almost had it. Yeah.
No. Dang it. Interesting game.
You know what? That was close, man. You nailed it.
That's close. Do you remember? I got one for you. Do you remember the player that knocked out Brett Favre?
I know.
Chris, you're supposed to know. Stop it. This is for Dylan. Dylan, do you know the player? And he is now a referee in the NFL?
In the NFL, he's a back judge.
Back judge, NFL. Do you remember the player?
Oh, I couldn't tell you, man.
No. Who is it? Who is it, Chris?
It's Nate Jones.
Nate Jones.
And crazy enough, Nate Jones was on the field the night that Aaron Rodgers blew out his Achilles. He was the back judge.
Full circle.
How about that?
Wow. Interesting.
Keep that man off the field if you're Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And thanks for the call, Dylan. That's good stuff.
Thank you.
The thing about that game, the clip that is shown the most from that game is that's when T.O. got the popcorn and put it, and get your popcorn ready, scored a touchdown, had somebody in the end zone with popcorn, and put the popcorn in his face mask, all that good stuff. That was a crazy game, and the thing about that game too is that when we talked about the Giants divisional loss and all that, because if they win that game like they should have, they go and play the Packers again at home for the NFC Championship game, and I don't think they're losing that game. Favre, Rodgers, whoever, I don't think that they're losing that game, but didn't happen that way. Good stuff. I love trivia questions. I missed it though. 37-27. I don't know why I thought it was 38. Joe in Montrose, Pennsylvania. What's up, man?
Nick.
Hi.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How are you?
Good. Just a little memory as a 53-year-old up in Northeast Pennsylvania, lifelong Cowboys fan. I remember the day one of my friends who was another Cowboys fan brought in a little clipping from the Dallas Cowboys official weekly into school and high school, and I signed up for it right away and just remember getting that first issue and just scouring it page to page, the ads, everything.
Me too.
And just, put it in perspective of how lucky we are now with all of these podcasts and social media and everything. It's great now.
You know what's funny about that is that I did the same thing. We lived in, different places, Oklahoma, Arkansas, whatever, but I got the Dallas Cowboys Weekly too. And when I think back, even right now, when I close my eyes and think about the teams in the NFL, just if I had to name them all, it's that back page of the weekly that had all of the teams lined up and the order of where they were. Like, that's how I remember every team. I know exactly where they were on that page. And that was the 2018 league. That was when the Seahawks were in the AFC and all that kind of stuff. But that's how I visualize the teams right now, just based off of that page. Yeah, I used to have it. I would cut out the pictures before my dad would even come home to even,
Me too.
Same thing. Cool stuff. The Dallas Cowboys Weekly then became the Star, and then honestly, DallasCowboys.com is one of the reasons for the demise on that, if we're really being honest. But hey,
but it's great though.
Yeah, it was great for its time. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yep.
I
just have my random player is Jeff Ogden. My favorite player is Tony Hill, and my random, you want to call it, wrestler was Jake the Milkman Milliman.
Wow. Yeah, I thought you were going somewhere else. Thought you were going with the snake. Awesome.
No.
Never heard of him. That's cool.
No?
Jeff Ogden.
Okay.
Wow, bringing it back.
Yeah.
Jeff Ogden was one of those all Valley Ranch type guys, or all. I guess we were in Wichita Falls. I mean, that's where he was. Yeah, that's when he with his rookie year. But he was an all training camp guy. Jeff Ogden. It's funny story about Jeff Ogden is that Chan Gailey and his new offense, he loved guys like that. He loved Ogden. He loved Ernie Mills, these guys, and he was kind of fading out that playmaker. Didn't really feel like he fit the role of what they were doing later in his career and all that kind of stuff. And I'll never forget that very first game against Washington in '99. And this wasn't Chan Gailey's first year; it was his second year. But Ogden was playing a lot in the first quarter. Second quarter had some snaps, trying to get him in there. Fourth quarter, Irvin, touchdown. Drive, Irvin, touchdown. And then Rocket won the game. But it was kind of one of those moments of like, listen, it's the playmaker for a reason. It's still Jeff freaking Ogden over here and all that. So let's just cool it on who's going to be lining up where. Anyways. All right, Bruce in Houston. We're kind of flying through the calls here. Bruce, what's up?
What's up, Nick? Hey, I couldn't get in yesterday. You're becoming like a Swiftie, I guess, yourself. We're so popular. But.
Wow. Yeah. First time.
You'd like to have her.
Yeah.
You'd like to have her portfolio at least, right?
Yeah. I tell you what, though, I have a lot of respect though for her. I really do. My daughters have watched her in concert twice or three times really, and she does a great job. She does a great job for the. A lot of people don't play into the role model. They don't want to be a role model. They just want to be a superstar. She plays into that. She does a really good job with that. So
no, she does. Yeah, my daughter's seen her twice too, but. And when she first came out, I thought, she kind of just words her songs, talking about. But here's what it is. She's got it going. Because I missed yesterday my favorite player growing up. I'm sure probably got mentioned, Randy White. I don't know if he got mentioned.
A little bit, yeah. The Manster, for sure.
The Manster, exactly. And another guy was Leroy Jordan. I mean, I'm 61 years old. My dad used to say that middle linebacker, he wouldn't wait. He wouldn't wait for the runner to come through the hole. He'd go meet him.
Go get him.
And you don't see that too often. And I was thinking the other day, was talking with my buddy about the tush push.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a chance that you could. Why not put your offensive lineman in the defensive front there? Just because it seems like they can't get low enough. The defensive tackles are 6'5" and 330. They just can't seem to get low enough.
Right.
Because I know their offensive linemen are big too, but I guess nobody comes up with a solution how to stop it. But,
well, that sounds good. That sounds good. Who are you putting out there? Like
I know if you
because then all they do is they like whoa shotgun, and then they get out of it. And now you're playing football, and you're like, crap. Like
that's true.
Tyler Smith is not a good pass rusher. Like no, he's not.
No,
and
true.
then so I honestly think that they're going to take it out of the league. I think the league will take it out. I think, and I think how you police it is if you line up in the backfield, you cannot push a player if you line up in the backfield because you got to be careful with the rules because are you going to eliminate the 8-yard run that gets down the field and then the linemen push them?
Correct.
Which I think, I think you just take the pushing out of it, but then college does it. I mean, everybody does it, but I said before, I just think it's a hypocritical. If you can't leverage to jump on someone's back and block a field goal because you're not that tall, then why would you be able to push someone if you're not that strong? Why are you using someone else to push? It just seems hypocritical for what other rules are in the league, but. It's working for the Eagles, and it works for the Eagles because their center is the best. That's why it works.
Well, and then I heard also too, Jalen Hurts supposedly squats like 700 pounds. That doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, you got two guys, and they put a strong receiver. I mean, AJ Brown. They put a tight end. They have guys. I mean, so it's really they have big, strong players, and it works. It works for them, and I mean, we saw them push into the end zone. We saw them push out of their end zone.
Out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough. And real quick, what I'd like to see Dallas do next year, I don't know, you can let us know Tyron Smith's contract for next year going forward, but I think he needs to be the swing tackle next year and maybe move Tyler Smith if that's what they want to do long term, and really go in the free agency instead of trying to build everything through the draft, because they're going to probably have 20 plus, hopefully it's in the 30s, draft pick on their first round, and solidify during the free agency, and not wait till week 2 when they pick a guy that is okay, like Aduma Adoga or wherever you say his name. Although he's a good player, but I mean, a first string type player. And then there's a kid I know it's way too early for the draft, but they need a bell cow. They need a Henry type running back, and I think there's a kid out of Wisconsin. I think he's 6'1", 240, but runs like a 4.5, 4.6. I forget his name. I was looking at draft boards already. They need something like that. Maybe not with their first pick. Obviously, still go offensive tackle, offensive line if you can, and maybe second round get that stud running back, and then use Dowdle because Pollard's gone, and use Dowdle as a change of pace guy going forward. But I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah.
Good show, Nick.
Good show. Yeah, good call. Thank you, Bruce. I'm not sure that Pollard is gone. I mean, I don't know that. He's going to be a free agent, but what's his value going to be? What are the teams trying to do? And you're right. You have free agency first, and then the draft. I do think they'll draft the running back higher than normal. And there's some, there's going to be good backs out there. I mean, there's that's just the way it is. I mean, there's going to be backs that are leading the Big Ten or the SEC or the Big 12, in rushing, and they'll be there in the third or fourth round. So you can have productive backs that can go right in. But what you've got to do is they got to fix the running game. They got to fix that, and that just has to happen. So, all right, let's take a break real quick. I didn't realize we were this far into the show. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back on Cowboys Storyline.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Cowboys fans, after that move, we've just coined the term Rowdy Replay. Let's roll back the tape.
Okay, there's our mascot Rowdy cheering on the boys. And now he's on his phone, on his Bank of America mobile banking app?
Staying on top of his finances with his virtual financial assistant, Erica.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive. Cowboys fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can't stop banking.
Erica is only available in the English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time. But what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline, cutting it up with Chris Beam here. He's both in good moods. It's Friday, it's good moods. That's my road dog too on the road. We thought we had a good story we were going to tell. It was really, now it's just a sad story about we were walking to the Rocky Steps, And I'll just tell it. Who cares? We were walking through the Rocky Steps, and we were walking, and it's a lot of birds flying around, pigeons flying, all this stuff. We were walking right by this really big building, this huge building. And we're walking and looking, and all of a sudden we just hear a thud. And I looked up, and then this bird had flown right into it and just fluttered down, which didn't want to see that, And then I was like, oh, man, terrible. Just kept walking. And we're like, if the Cowboys beat the Eagles tonight, I mean, that's an omen right there. The birds flying, birds going down right here before the game. It didn't really happen that way, but still, now it's just a story about a bird that I think didn't make it. I don't know. I don't know if they.
There is no chance that bird made it.
No chance. Yeah, it was hit like the 8th floor and then went
and then
down.
Another thud.
It was worse than a special teams coach that hears that dreaded double thud, with the punt and then the block, the boom. This was a little bit longer because it was 8th floor, boom, boom. Anyways, not sure why I told that story. Anyway, all right, let's go to the phone lines. Brian in Pennsylvania.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I don't know how I'm going to follow that story.
Did you see the bird? I mean, you're in Pennsylvania?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
But, wow. That's the way you told that is. That's pretty good.
We thought it was going to be like this omen, yep, the birds are going down today.
Sign of things to come, right? Maybe it was the omen for next month, not this month.
Maybe. Right? We'll see.
Well, I got a player for you. I've got Mackenzie Bernardo.
Oh, Mackenzie Bernardo. Is that how you say it? I think it is. Because
isn't that how you say it?
I think it is, but we used to say Bernardo.
Bernardo.
And we were told later on, at the end of the season, it was Bernardo. I was like, oh. So I think you're right. Cool dude. Not the best guard to ever wear 73, but
no.
But yeah, cool.
Serviceable lineman.
Yeah. Mackenzie Bernardo.
There you go. And then for wrestler, I got to say Sergeant Slaughter. In honor of Veterans Day.
Okay. Like it. Now, I don't know if y'all know this guy that used to write for us for years, Rob Phillips. Rob Phillips is the most, I can spit out facts on the Cowboys, Super Bowls, all this stuff. Rob in wrestling, he would tell you Sergeant Slaughter fought Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania 6 or something like that. For the world title. It's cool. That's a good one. All right, you got anything else?
Well, here's an idea I just thought of. If Rob Phillips is such an avid wrestling fan, how about you try to get him on for a segment and have him compare the teams in the NFC or the NFL right now to wrestlers and how they'd match up?
Just might do that. I don't know what he's doing right now, but I think he's got time. What's your score?
42-14 Cowboys.
42-14. Love it. All right.
Yeah, let's bring Rob P on.
Rob, you've been called. You've been summoned. All right, we're gonna make it happen. Oh, it's unbelievable. Thanks for the call. I can do that with. Chris has done it with me. He'll be like 1989 against the Redskins. Go. I could give you scores, but I do that with Rob. I'm like, Rob, WrestleMania 18. What happened? He's like, well, it was in Toronto, and it was Shawn Michaels took on. He knows everything. It's unbelievable how he does that. So. Cool. Good stuff. All right, let's go to Jeff in North Carolina.
How you doing, Nick?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Second-time caller, man.
Second-time caller. Cool.
Yeah, second-time caller. I drive for a living, so most of the time I listen every day, but it's only when I'm home and not driving where I can call in. So
I'm telling you, Jeff.
I love listening to the show every day.
I call in more because you don't know this about me, but your accent, that I will always be smart. I don't know if it brings me back to home or whatever. I don't know, but your accent, I can listen to all day long. So, Jeff,
I appreciate that.
What do you got, man?
We're getting some of that rain here in North Carolina that y'all had earlier in the week, I believe. So
what do you got?
Just a couple quick things. My favorite. I got two favorite all-time Cowboys. Of course, Roger and Troy are the greatest quarterbacks, probably. But Tony's my favorite. Tony Romo, just because of the way I loved him. Yeah. Loved watching him play the way he did. Defensive player, I don't know if anybody's mentioned this, but somebody who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and I'm not sure he may be in the Ring of Honor, but definitely deserves to get more recognition that he's gotten is Harvey Martin. He was a game wrecker, and
somebody did call in yesterday and said that William from West Virginia, he called in, whose accent is kind of like yours too. And so he said same thing, Harvey Martin. Yep.
So I got a quick little story. A couple weeks ago when Nate was on there with you, he was talking about how different training camp was and stuff when he played than it is now. And believe it or not, I can remember, back in the 76 preseason, that's when they only played 14 regular season games, and they had 6 preseason games. And I remember the last preseason game, Cowboys played Pittsburgh. It was a rematch of Super Bowl 10 from the previous January.
Mm-hmm.
And Roger Staubach and Terry Bradshaw started the game, played the entire game.
Yeah.
And that was like the dress rehearsal. And
what was the score?
Just kind of goes to show how things have changed. Oh, I don't remember the score.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. It was the 5th of the 6th game. So sorry.
5th of the 6th game.
Yeah,
okay.
but they probably did it the same. That's kind of the dress rehearsal game, and then maybe the last one wasn't the starters. But yeah, they beat them 20-10.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
But man, times have really changed since then.
Yeah. 6 preseason games. I'm looking at this. At Oakland, at the L.A. Rams, which that says to me that the Cowboys are out there in Thousand Oaks, and they wanted 2 games so they could stay out there. Then they come home. They play Denver. Then Detroit at Memphis. They played a preseason game at Memphis. Cool. And then Pittsburgh,
wow.
and then Houston. Yeah, how about that? 76.
I remember that was a long time ago.
Yep. I was a little baby at that point, but
right.
Cool.
I was probably a teenager, almost be a teenager maybe. So, but
well, Jeff, anyway, call anytime.
Appreciate you taking my call.
No problem.
And I think we're going to get the Brandon Cooks thing squared away. I think. It's just they're on the uptick as far as how the offense is playing, and I think they're going to get this thing figured out.
I hope so, man. I thank you. I'm sorry. Have a great day. I'm not laughing. I absolutely love that sound of it. It does remind me of, like, I lived in Arkansas and Oklahoma, and then anything West Texas. Went to college. It's just a pure sound. I don't know. They got it on the uptick though. Love that. All right. Kevin in New Jersey, who I bet doesn't sound like that. Kevin in New Jersey.
No, I don't sound like that. I wish I did. Love the show. I listen every day. I had a question for you. I wish I had a Cowboys comment, but I had a question about where Cowboys StoryLine, the name, came from. And the reason I asked the question is because I really feel like, maybe you might have a background in psychology, but I think the name of the show should really be Cowboys Therapy. I think it's just more appropriate for the people that call. It's a very therapeutic show for me to listen to after a win, after a loss. People calling in, explaining things, talking about their feelings. I don't know, just a thought.
Well,
I would suggest changing the name Cowboys Therapy, but you guys, whatever you think, just wanted to know where Cowboys StoryLine came from.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Really, I don't know about the therapy stuff, but I mean, it's really just like, let's just talk football, or let's talk whatever, because like I'm a fan just like you guys are, and I'm a fan of other teams. I've been a Cowboy fan, whatever, and since I was a little kid, and I feel like I can relate to you guys, and one thing I've learned is that nobody's opinion is wrong. So let's just talk it through. I don't always agree, but it don't have to, and give you guys a voice to kind of really express yourself. And I would think as a fan, you're also like, this is what I think. Or other people? Am I the only one? People say that all the time. Am I the only one who thinks this way? And this is an opportunity to kind of see yes or no. StoryLine, it had to have line in it because of the calls, because that's one thing we were really trying to focus on, was that it was something with the line. And if you remember, sometimes back in Cowboys break, we would do story time, with Nick, and I would tell some random stories and stuff like that. And sometimes Chris would play music, and I would tell stories. And so it was kind of along those lines of story time, but StoryLine, and that's what we'll do. You get on the line, and we'll tell stories. We'll tell old stories about 20 years ago or 2 days ago about the game before, whatever it is. I mean, it's all about telling stories. Can you be a good storyteller? That's really what everybody on our team, the writers, the hosts, the producers, that's what we say all the time. Can you tell a great story? And that's what our job is. And so that's what I hope that I can do. So all right, we that's kind of where that came from, and kind of bouncing around different ideas and all that, and just kind of and really when that hit, it was like StoryLine's like, that's it. That's the one. That's what I've been racking my brain over for the last week or so. When it hit, it was like, okay, doing it. All right, Bob in Rio Grande Valley. Bob.
Hey, Nick.
Hi, Bob.
I'm up in your neighborhood right now. I'm up North Louisiana fishing with my brother.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But, I tell you what, I know it's time to move on to the Giants, but that last 30 seconds of that game against Philadelphia, that when we just had a breakdown that cost us that game, I can't get over that. Why can't we get the damn fundamentals down right? So we don't have those stupid penalties like that. That 5-yard penalty cost us the game because we needed a yard and a half for a touchdown.
Tyler, you talking about Tyler Smith? Talking about the false start? Yeah.
Yep. And Tyler's been around long enough to know better. But it seems like every week we have those fundamental breakdowns. And, I mean, I have no choice but to blame that on coaching.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. So as a coach, what should they do? So we don't play Tyler Smith this week, or I mean, like what would you do in that scenario? I mean, it's a tough one because I mean you're trying to not give up a sacks. I mean, the Eagles' their pass rush is phenomenal, and if you're sitting there on the other side and you see the Eagles are doing this every single snap. Everyone from the press box, you can see that Lane Johnson pops up a half second before everyone else. So that's what it is, and that's the part that's so ironic about it is that the Cowboys lose a game off of that when the Eagles did it the entire game. And I'm not trying to blame the officials, but that is what it is. I mean they lost on a false start.
Well, I mean let's put the blame where it belongs. It does belong on the officials for not calling it. It certainly should. And
just be consistent.
Doesn't Mike McCartney have a red flag in his pocket?
That's not reviewable. I don't believe.
It's not?
No, because it is a false start. That's the thing. Like that. What would you review there? I mean, it was a false start. Now, of course, the 2 minutes you don't. That's not something you could review, anyways. And in the final 2 minutes, you don't review that. But even in the third quarter, you don't say it. The Eagles, jump, false start, but they do it every time. If they're not doing that, their guy goes in motion a half second before, which. I mean, what is this, Canadian League? I mean, Arena League? I mean, what are we doing here? So I think they got to figure that part out too. This going in motion like a half second before the snap, like that's a false start too. And the Dolphins are doing it.
You see in other games, Nick, where something like that is going on, and the coach is over on the sidelines, and that's the closest official, and he's in his face, and he's giving him what for? To finally bring it. I mean, he forces him to pay attention to what's going on, and then you start seeing some of the calls come that should have been coming before. Look, man, I appreciate you taking my call.
Thanks, Bob. All right, appreciate that. We're going to move right quick to Steve in Washington. Steve, what's up?
Morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Is this Washington
I was
State?
The one that called in with that theory on the daylight savings time.
Yeah, but, the more I thought about that, it was like they did have the extra hour. That's okay. Yeah. You're like, if you had an extra hour,
I got another theory for you, though.
All right.
Another conspiracy theory.
Cool.
I got have you ever eaten a big full meal and then tried to go out and play football or play any sports? It just doesn't work.
Sure.
You're too full. So I got this idea that, how many Super Bowls have the Cowboys won?
5.
And if you take the Dallas Star, how many points are there?
5.
5. See, so we're full. So the only thing that Jerry Jones can do is to change the star. So it has 6 points on it. And then we got a shot at winning another Super Bowl. I mean, it's just simple as that.
Simple
and I
as
think
that.
it's Jerry Jones' conspiracy is that would cost too much money to change the logo of the team on everything. So he just doesn't want to do it. So he just doesn't want to win another Super Bowl for us. I think that's just, what
Okay.
it comes down to.
That's it. Simple. The math. I mean, okay. Steve, call in every day. Okay, call in every day and bring me a theory like that. I have nothing. I have no response for that. So you've stumped me. You guys tried trivia questions, and I can get most of those. But when you throw that kind of stuff at me, I got nothing in return. I love it. All right, I see Brian Broaddus is here. He's hosting Cowboys Break coming up here in a few minutes. He's got his LSU gear on. He is ready to go. So stay tuned for that on Cowboys Break. For this one though, we will see you on Monday. We're going to talk about Cowboys and Giants. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you on Monday. Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,